Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video. In today's video I want to go over how to get to the Frozen folder in Office Sim and find the folders. So yeah, let's get started. So in order to get the Frozen folder, you want to exit out of these double doors right over here, and then exit out of the double doors of the reception room once again as well. And now you should be in this big room with a bunch of different cubicles. Now once you're here, you want to actually look for a randomly spawning cubicle, and it'll have a computer that has a red button on it, along with a yellow note, and some other things that separate it from the rest of the cubicles. So you just want to kind of look around, hopping from cubicle to cubicle, until you find this specific randomly spawning cubicle. And basically you want to look for a cubicle that looks like this. You can see the computer has a red button right over there, and there's also a yellow note here, and none of the other cubicles have a yellow note, so if you just hop along the cubicles right over here, the yellow note does stand out quite a bit. So you just want to look for a cubicle that looks like this in order to actually get to the next step right over here. So once you do find this cubicle, you actually want to turn on the computer by pressing the red button, but it will ask you to sign in. So you want to head over to the handbook button on the right side right over here, and if you click on it right over here, there should be a login on the bottom left. So you should find this login section that says office_sim, and this will actually be the login for the computer. So right over here, you just want to remember office_sim for the login for the computer. So once you remember that login right over here, you can press the red button and the computer should turn on. And right over here in the login, you should be able to type office_sim. So once you typed in the login that you saw before, office_sim, and press enter, it should let you enter the computer right over here. So once you enter this computer, there are quite a few things here in this area that you want to focus on. The first thing right over here is actually in the background of the computer. You can see that there are three words here. There is rise, reinvent, and repeat. And there are a few things here attached to some letters to actually pay attention to. So the first thing here are the underscores. You can see R, E, and A are underscores. So you want to pay attention to that, R, E, A. The next thing are the letters with dots above them. So you can see there is P with 3 dots, E with 2 dots, and R with 1 dot above it. So that is P-E-R. Putting all those letters together gives you R-E-A-P-E-R, which is the word Reaper. So you just want to remember that. So right over here, you want to press on the IDS.exe file right over here on the bottom, and it should open up this IDS form right over here. So once you do find this IDS form, you actually want to enter that word that you just found, Reaper. So right over here, you want to type in Reaper, and once you type in Reaper, you want to press enter, and it should open up a new form right over here. So once you do find this official organizational hierarchy document, you want to press the next page right over here, and this page right over here is the one that actually has what we are looking for. So we see that there is this size.wplace.sim. So we just want to remember that right over here. So once you see that link right over there, you can actually open the web right over here, and you want to type in that link right over here. So you want to type in size.wplace.sim, and once you type in that link right over here and press enter, it should open up a new thing right over here. So once you're here, you actually want to scroll down a bit and find these project coordinates. So right over here, there are some coordinates listed that you want to pay attention to. And right over here in Andy's message, it says the only external connection I can establish was to a site called WPlace. And if you guys do not know, WPlace is actually a website where you can add your own kind of images anywhere. And we actually want to go to the website on Google or whatever browser you use. So you just want to open WPlace right over there. So right over here, once you Google WPlace website and go to it, it should be wplace.live. It should look something like this. So you can see there are a bunch of different images that users added to the website right over here. And now you want to actually go back into the game and copy those coordinates that were given on that screen. So where it says project chords, you just want to copy those chords in or type them in however you prefer. And you want to find this button on the top right corner where there is a little globe with a magnifying glass on it. And once you click on that, you should be able to find this search bar right over here. And you want to type in the coordinates right over there. And I already typed them in, so you can see that I already have them in the recent section. But if you just want to type them in, you can just look at them on my screen right over here. It's 41.2181, comma, -95.9684. So these are the coordinates here that were given. And once you find these coordinates, you just want to click on them, or if you type them in, you can press enter. And once you go to the coordinates right over here, it should zoom in to this little section here where there is a little image from Office Sim. And this image actually gives a little hint to the next step right over here. So you can see there are quite a few things here on this little image, some of them which are not that important, but some of them which are very important. So first off, you might be able to notice that a lot of the things here are actually backwards. So you can see this word right over here is actually Cedar Rapids backwards. And Cedar Rapids is actually a location, so that is the area that you want to look for. So we have Cedar Rapids right over here. Then on the right side, we have EN, which backwards would be northeast. And then over here we have ND42, which would be 42 North Drive. So Northeast 42 North Drive, and then on the left side we have the zone and location. And putting these two numbers here together would actually give you a house code, which would be 1936. So 1936 North Drive 42 Northeast, which you can kind of already see that this puzzle is a little bit crazy and it's very difficult to solve on your own, but I wanted to let you guys know the steps that go into how to actually get this folder, just in case somebody was curious or wanted to solve them on their own or needed some help solving it. So altogether we should have 1936, which would be the address number, then 42nd Street North Drive and Northeast in Cedar Rapids. Now this next step was a little crazy, so I just want to keep this a bit private, so there's probably going to be a lot of blurring on the screen, just so you know. But basically what you wanted to do was go to Cedar Rapids on Google Maps and then find 42nd Street, which would be up here towards the north of Cedar Rapids, right over here, which would be 42nd Street NE, which we did see northeast. And once you did find that street, you wanted to find the building number that had the address 1936, which would be the Parlor City Ice Cream right over here. So you can see this is a pretty crazy step here, but you basically just wanted to locate this location right over here. And then once you found this location, you want to head over to the reviews section, and then you want to sort by newest review right over there. So once you do go sort by newest review and scroll down, you should be able to find this review that is by an employee, which has the Office Sim logo right over there. So once you do find this employee review, you can actually click more right over there, and it'll have a little bit of a description right over here. And the thing that you want to focus on right over here is what they actually ordered. So you can see that they always get a hot dog with a twist dipped in chocolate. So now you want to think back to where you might have seen these specific items, and this is actually an order that you can get in the cafeteria in the actual Office Sim game right over here. So once you're back in the game right over here, you can just click exit PC as we don't need it anymore, and you can reset back to spawn. So right over here, once you're back at spawn, you want to exit these double doors once again, and then you want to make a left turn right over here and exit the reception area. Now once you exit the reception area, you want to turn right and head down this blue line right over here on the floor, and keep walking until you reach the end of the building that you spawned in. Now once you reach the end of the building right over here, you want to keep following this blue line until you reach the cafeteria right over here on the right side, following this blue line once again. That'll take you right to it right over here. So once you do find the cafeteria on the right side of the path, you want to enter right over here and keep walking until you do find the food section on the left side. And if you look closely right over here on the food menu, we do have hot dog on the left, then dessert we do have twist, and extra we do have choco dip. So all three items are here on the food menu. So basically what you want to do is add up the prices of everything all together. So hot dog, which would be $71.93, you want to add that with the twist price, which is $21.31, and add in choco dip, which is $3.67. And adding all those values together should give you $96.91. So once you do have all of those added together, and you do have that total number right over here, you want to head inside this food section and find the freezer opening on the left side right over here. So once you do find the freezer opening here, you want to actually input that number that you got into the cash register right over here. So you want to type in 9691. So after you type in 9691, you want to press the green button right over here, and the freezer access should open up right over there. And you can actually enter it right over here. So once you have entered the freezer right over here, the frozen folder should be over here at the top left of the vault area. So once you do notice that right over here, you can climb up these crates and jump over to that frozen folder. So over here, you can go ahead and grab it, and you should be able to get to the frozen folder. So that was a lot of steps, but you can just skip a lot of them. I just want to show how it was intended to be solved. So just in case somebody wanted to solve it on their own, they were able to follow the steps and figure out how to actually get to this point. But yeah, hopefully this video was helpful to you guys, and you're able to get to the frozen folder in Office Sim Find the Folders. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye.